Alright, let's add some cool pictures and videos to our webpage. Alright, let's start off with a pristine body tag and we're gonna add some cool stuff in it. Here in my desktop, I have a picture, a video, and an audio file. Now let's add each of these to our webpage. To add a picture, we have to import this picture in our VS Code. So we can literally just drag it in and put it in our Explorer tab. Here, as you can see, my picture has appeared in the Explorer, and let's go to the HTML so we can add it to our website. To add it, we're gonna come to the body tag and we're gonna use another tag. Like normal, we're gonna start off with an angle bracket, and then we have to write IMG, which stands for image. So the thing with the image tag is it's a self-closing tag, which means unlike other tags in HTML, it doesn't have an ending tag. Alright, now let's link the picture in our image tag. In order to do that, we have to use the source attribute. So we can go inside the image tag and we can create some space and write src, which stands for source. Inside the quotation, we're gonna write the name of our picture file, which in my case is verycoolpicture.jpg. So something important about the image tag is we also have to add an alt attribute to it. This is highly recommended because if somehow your image fails to load in the page, it's gonna show the alternative description. So to add it, we're gonna write ALT, which stands for alternative, and we can add the equal and quotation. And inside it, we're just going to describe what image we have right here. So this picture is about a very cool mountain, so I'm just going to write that. Alright, now we have fail-proofed this image, so if somehow this doesn't load, it's going to show the description. Finally, it's time to open our webpage in a browser to see what we have created. We can quickly save the document by pressing Ctrl S or Command S on Mac. And whoa, look at that! This image is actually massive. So in order to fit this image in our page, we actually have to use a few more attributes. So the first attribute we're gonna use is the width attribute, which, well, will define the width. So the same way as the source and alt, we're gonna write width. So inside our width attribute, let's put a width for something like 250 pixels. Alright, let's save our document and go to our webpage. And look at that, that looks much smaller and a lot better. So the width attribute is kind of cool because it also determines the height of it. So that means if we specify a width, it's going to make the height proportional. However, we can also assign our own height to it. And just for experimental purposes, we're just gonna choose a random height. What about 550 pixels? Let's hit save and go back to our page. And look, this image is a lot stretched and it kind of looks funny. Cool, we have successfully added our first image to our webpage. I'm thinking we can add a title to it, so let's use a H1 tag. How about something like visit this very cool mountain? And I think we can also add the location of this mountain range. This beautiful place is in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and it's indeed very cool. So let's check our website, and yeah, I forgot to remove the height attribute. Alright, now we have our final product and it looks very professional. So now let's switch the gears a bit and use a video in our page. So from earlier, I have this video on my desktop, and I'm going to drag this to my VS Code. So here's a short clip of me playing the piano with visual effects, and we're going to add it in our HTML file. So we can get right to it by using the video tag, angle bracket, video, and close it. Alright, cool. Unlike the image tag, we actually have an ending tag on this one. However, it's pretty much the same because we also have to mention the source in our video tag. So we can come into the opening tag, add a space, and we can write the src or source tag. So just like before, we have to add the video file name in our source, which in this case is very creatively named, Very Cool Video. Let's save our document and go to Google Chrome to check it out. And yup, it's massive again. So we have to adjust the size. We can quickly do that by using the width attribute again, and let's set it to 250 pixels because that looked like the perfect size to me. Alright, save and go to our page. Maybe not, it's too small. Let's try 550 pixels. So now we can see it's much more visible. However, we can see that this video is not playing and there's no option to start the video. That is because we haven't actually added any controls to our video. We can really easily do it by adding the controls attribute to it. So in our starting tag, we can literally just write controls. That's it. We don't have to add equal and quotations. Alright, now we can see we have controls in our video. And let's skip a bit and play this video. Alright, it worked. So now let's add some quick titles to this video. I'm going to use the H1 tag and write the name of the piece. Maybe we can add the composer in an H2 tag. Alright, let's save and look at the final result. And as we can see, this video plays nicely and we have the titles and it looks great. Alright, let's go further a bit and add an audio file to our page. So in my desktop again, I have a very cool audio, which is actually just the audio file for this video right here. So I can quickly drag it to my Explorer in VS Code, and as we can see, our audio file is right here. So to add an audio to our page, we basically have to do the same as video. But let's use the audio tag this time. In the opening tag, we're gonna add the source to our audio. Very cool audio. Now this time, we don't have to add a width to our audio file because obviously. However though, we have to add controls to our audio. So it's the same thing, we just add the controls attribute. Okay, save and go back to our website. Alright, there we go. Now we have the video as well as the audio to that video. And as you can see, it's the same thing. So there you go, now we have different kinds of medias in our webpage.